Now, here in Germany, general elections are just a month away. So today we are starting our series on future developments to which policymakers of today need to find answers, like artificial intelligence. From voice-controlled personal assistants to smart robots on factory floors, artificial intelligence is already having a profound effect on our lives. No surprise then that countries all over the world are trying to stay ahead of the curve. But when it comes to investment, who's putting their money where their mouth is? Well, look at it. Private funding. The United States leads the way with well over $29 billion going into the sector last year. Coming in second is China with almost $10 billion. That said, Chinese state investment is particularly significant. As you can see, the European Union is far behind with investments of just over $2 billion. So why is that? And does Germany, the bloc's largest economy, have a plan to play catch-up? We'll talk about it with our guest in a moment here. And now let's take a look at an example of AI in action at a Rolls Royce control room just outside Berlin.
Even in emergencies, it keeps its cool. In the control room at Rolls Royce, just south of Berlin, safety engineers monitor more than 9,000 engines worldwide. Long before the owners of the commercial jets would even notice a defect, the systems here sound the alarm. Artificial intelligence at work. The systems are fed massive amounts of data. Our engines provide data on their operations, and the data is analyzed here. That's where certain trends are looked at, like whether the engine is vibrating more than usual, or whether there's a possible malfunction, or whether something like that could come up at some point in the future. Then, the owners of the aircraft are informed. The plane can then be taken in for maintenance long before the problem becomes expensive or life-threatening. In the adjacent building, engines are assembled. Many parts are custom-made, previously developed by the design engineers who also use artificial intelligence. For example, how would it affect the engine if certain components are changed? AI helps find the best method. There are studies that say that AI saves 15 to 16% on costs. But for us, it's all about safety. Safety is the priority. In other words, it's actually the quality aspect that plays the most important role for us. So deeper insights into the engine and component behaviors are absolutely the priority. The Center for Artificial Intelligence opened at the Dahlewitz Center near Berlin in 2019. People here aren't afraid that artificial intelligence will take their jobs. You have to work in a cross-disciplinary manner. That means you have to talk to other teams, you have to develop systems as quickly as possible with lots of requirements at times. And that's just not feasible with AI. In fact, the mechanics will probably have to install even more sensors and cables in the future. After all, in about 5 years' time, the plan is for these aircraft to fly with hybrid drive systems based on sustainable fuel and electricity.
Earlier, I spoke to Adrian Locher, co-founder and CEO of Merantix, an incubator for AI startups, and I asked him why Europe is trailing the United States and China so significantly when it comes to AI investment.
Well, I believe one of the main reasons is our risk awareness about new technologies. I think it's a mindset reason, and it's got a lot to do about people fearing AI to do them harm. And in result, you have a lot of regulations happening even before the technology is already working. And the US and China, in that regard, have a very different approach and are more going into trial and error, which is just speeding things up a lot. And I believe we have a... Yeah, sorry.
No, I was going to say, are these fears not understandable? I mean, the proverbial robot on a rampage, for that matter, many don't know where all the technology, where all AI is already at work.
So the thing is, there are risks, undoubtedly, and we need to mitigate them, we need to talk about them, we need to discuss them. But, and this is the thing that I really wish us more here in Europe, we also need to talk about the enormous chances that come out of this technology.
For example?
So we have biology, we have synthetic biology who is going to revolutionize the world like we've never seen before. A lot of it is driven by AI, machine learning. We also have medicine, who is undergoing a lot of transformation driven by AI. And so there's a lot of enablement that is going on and a lot of basic technology that is from the ground up changed through machine learning AI.
Where do you see a niche, maybe that European AI, if investment in Europe is so low, could be a success in the future?
Well, many people refer to SAP as the first and also biggest tech champion. And if you look at newer firms like Signavio, Celonis, for example, they are really, really big in B2B software, which I believe is a great playing field that we can build up and grow on it.
Adrian Locher, Merantix's co-founder and CEO, speaking to us earlier.